on the Gamescom we saw two virtual reality systems, Morpheus and Oculus Rift. And the fight against these two machines will decide with software. How you support software developers?
So we support software developers in a lot of different ways. I think the main thing for us is developing a great hardware and software platform that developers can use super easily to develop games and content, right? Because if it's not frictionless, it's very hard to build content for. So I think that's something that the Oculus Rift definitely has going for it. After that, it really comes down to, aside from just building a great platform and ecosystem, publishing and helping developers, mitigate risk, helping them develop games, helping them however they need help. Every developer tends to be different, so we're investing really heavily in the space to bring a lot of great content to the platform. It's been one of the challenges, delivering a new hardware platform. Content is king, right? Especially if you look at like the battle between Xbox One and PS4. Content really, is a crucial factor in that. There's some other crucial factors in that too, but we want to have a lot of great content when we launch the consumer version of the Oculus Rift, and investing in the ecosystem is one of the best ways to do that.
Okay. We saw some cool video games, and they are very good playable. But what's with professional use? You support them. So for
like AAA developers?
No, the professional users of the Oculus Rift, for designers or for construction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 100%. So I think our focus really is games, because we're game developers and we're super passionate about changing gaming and delivering next generation VR games. But every single industry that you can imagine is using the Rift for different things. So we have companies using it for car design. We have companies using it for retail. Imagine like sitting at home, putting on a Rift, and actually designing the car of your dreams and then ordering it online without ever leaving your house. Architecture, people are using it for visualization of homes and houses, because with VR you get this incredible sense of space, of depth. So you actually can stand in front of a door and be like, this door is a little too short. Like, can we actually make this taller? And that's something you can't really capture on a monitor, right? But when you put on the VR headset, you can see all that stuff. So the platform is designed so that anyone, like I said before, it's frictionless. Anyone who wants to develop a VR application absolutely can. I think gamers and game developers push the hardware to its limits, and everyone else, if we can meet those standards, everyone else, has a really successful, productive platform to build on.
Okay. What is the next step? When I was playing with the Oculus, I really want to touch the things. Is there a planning for some things I can pull over my fingers and then the computer know it?
We have a lot of plans. I think input, what you're talking about, input and also haptic feedback, both input sort of and output, are both two of the biggest hurdles towards actually delivering the holodeck. And we've talked a lot about, we don't think there's a great VR input device out there. If you look at like Kinect or Leap Motion or the Razer Hydra, none of them are really designed with VR in mind. And they all have their own strengths and weaknesses, but none of them are really the ideal input for VR. And I think both the demos you played today, we use a gamepad. Gamepad is also not the ideal input for VR. So the future, no one knows quite what it is yet. We definitely have a few ideas, and it's something we're actively researching and investigating pretty heavily, both internally and with partners outside the company.
So on Gamescom we also see Cyber, the little
virtualizer.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You can jump, you can move with your feet.
Yeah.
Do you think something like this has a future, or is it too expensive, too big for your living room?
Cyber Rift virtualizer. The virtualizer, I think it's called. So I don't know if something like that has the future. Very similar to the Omni and the WizDish. I think it is big. It is hard to use. I don't know how many gamers want to strap themselves into a device like that. It's definitely exhausting. For us, we're targeting a seated experience, a sitting down VR experience. One of the main reasons is that when we put you in this device, we're convincing your brain, or our goal is to convince your brain that you're in this totally separate reality. So the last thing we want you doing is running around your apartment, crashing into things when you're blindfolded, right? And so for us, we really want to nail seated VR first, and then we'll see where we go next. So don't know about Cyber Rift virtualizer. We'll see. I think gamers will show us what they want very quickly. I think for the most part, our plans are the same, but what we've been able to do and sort of invest in has changed, because the scope of what we would like to do is always limited by the resources at your disposal, right? And so with Facebook behind us and sort of all of the power, both money and people within Facebook that have expertise, not only in computers, but hardware and software. And it's really going to help us push forward much faster. And so for us, some really simple things: investing in the space in terms of publishing, hiring the best and brightest engineers in the world. We've grown the team, a lot since we announced the Facebook acquisition, and so that's something that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that I think people will be really excited about when they see it all come together. And I can't really think of a better partner for Oculus than Facebook to deliver VR and change the world. What does it do with Oculus? So I think if you think about virtual reality being the next platform, right? So mobile is currently this massive platform, right? Everyone has a mobile device in their pocket. And we're all use this about 40% of the time for communication, about 40% of the time for games, 20% of the time for entertainment, something else. But if you think that, and you believe, and Oculus and Facebook, we both believe this, that virtual reality is the future. That in one day you'll have a pair of sunglasses in your pocket, and you'll put it on. You actually won't even have a cell phone, right? Because when you put on the VR headset, you could have 20 cell phones floating in midair. They can all be big screen TVs. You and I can be having this conversation face to face in VR, anywhere, anytime. We can play games together. We can go to the movies together. We can do whatever we want together. If that is the future, then that's where we should be investing our resources. And so we're really bullish that VR is going to change the world, and we will all have personal VR devices down the road. And when you want to connect a billion people in virtual reality, there's no one better to partner with than Facebook. Yes, I think we're already seeing filmmakers and creatives invest in VR filmmaking. Like at Comic-Con, there were 5 or 6 VR experiences. There was one for X-Men, there was one for Pacific Rim, there was one for Sleepy Hollow. And I think each of them was pretty special because there's an experience where rather than watching a traditional movie, you're actually able to step inside that world and go there for the first time ever. And so if you think about what does the future of cinema look like, VR is probably not a replacement for film. People always want to say, is it just going to replace film? I don't think that's the case. I think film is an awesome medium for storytelling, and I think we've mastered it. But I think when you look at the future, people are going to be making full VR movies, both 360-degree real-time capture and also 360-degree real-time graphics. Imagine a movie much like a game where you're actually interacting with a 3D scene all around you in real time. And that technology is actually going to be game technology, and that's very similar to the experiences they showed at Comic-Con. Like in Pacific Rim, you're one of the Jaeger pilots inside a Jaeger, and you actually are fighting a kaiju. I mean, it's a pretty incredible experience, and everyone that takes off the headset afterward has a massive smile on their face, especially the Pacific Rim fans. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the future, and it's really exciting.
Okay, thank you.